welcome to Between Two Ferms. Today we're between number 4 spare rib and number 11 F5, and we're going to be talking about elevator wheat. I'm Blake, head brewer at COOP Ale Works.
I'm Shawn, I'm the resident lab rat.
I'm totally off time to there.
That's fine. No one's gonna even know.
So, elevator wheat beer is a COOP original. Been around since the inception of the brewery in 2009. Although at that time it was not called elevator wheat. It was actually called Zeppelin. And I want to say sometime in 2013, 14. No, it had been 2013. We discovered that there was another Zeppelin beer based out of Canada and went through the label change process. And I kid you not, it was like, I think it changed in March, and in April, I happened to answer the phone. And the guy's like, hey, I represent a brewery that makes a Zeppelin beer, and we see you have one too. And I was like, well, it's your lucky day because the label just changed. So they did find out about it, but it was after the fact. So it's been elevator ever since.
That's kind of some wild timing that, like,
Yeah,
within the month.
Without a doubt. So without
Cheers.
further ado, elevator wheat. So this uses classic Hefeweizen yeast, about 35% wheat in the grain bill.
Sounds about right.
Some rye in there as well, and the brew day on elevator is pretty awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's not a whole load of grain. It's pretty simple to mill in, and boils and gravities, all that stuff seem to hit right.
I just sort of thought with all the wheat in there, like, you might have run into something, because there's some rye in there too, right?
Yeah, there is.
And that also can give you a little sticky mash.
The beta glucans, as it were, are not too bad.
Throw around the science terms, this guy.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nerd alert.
Oh,
We'll get there.
all right, fair enough.
We'll get there. So, yeah, elevator that was Zeppelin, which actually one time a batch of elevator went bad. I say it went bad.
It was contaminated.
Contaminated. It's probably, infected sounds worse than contaminated.
And
probably.
technically, nerd alert, technically it's not infected, although brewers like to use the term infected. Technically it was contaminated with something that we didn't necessarily
yeast and
want there.
bacteria that we didn't want there.
Yeah.
So long story short, when we tasted it to go to packaging, it didn't taste right, but it didn't taste bad. So we had an extra tank, an old Grundy tank.
Oh man.
And we pulled some over. I dumped some dried cherries in there, and it affectionately became known as Red Zeppelin.
Reds.
Because it was still Zeppelin at the
Oh,
time.
all right, Dad.
Yeah, that was a dad joke.
Oh yeah.
But then it came around, also became known as the Farmhouse Ale. Again, this was 2010 that this happened. And I think we popped the last keg at last year's anniversary party.
I say, that was around really recently. I am surprised that beer that old held up that well.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And trying to replicate it was impossible because the way it got contaminated was kind of not replicable. So, I don't know, there may be a Farmhouse 2.0 that rears its head in the future, but that was one beer that I was really proud of just because it could have easily been dumped, but it ended up tasting really good. And cherries, let's be honest, I like cherries in beer, and it worked out really well.
Sounds almost like the contaminated horny toad we had that never quite made it to market, but did make it to some barrels.
Yeah.
But that's for another day.
Another day.
Sometimes you can rescue these things. A lot of the times you can't. But sometimes you just get that fortuitous je ne sais quoi, man.
And when you're making a lot of beer and you have the science guy like Shawn to tell us whenever we don't clean things right, or a sample port gets fouled, these things happen. But it is important for our jobs. Consistency and quality are at the top of our kind of priorities. And
I would hope so.
yes. Some people don't have the consistency model. Some people like to make a different beer every time, and I can respect that.
Yeah.
But that's not how we built our business,
Very
nor not how we're going to continue to build our business.
Amen.
So we have Shawn to keep us in line over that. All that to say, back to elevator, I'd say a pretty straightforward wheat beer.
I'd say so. What's weird is normally I get a lot of clove out of this beer,
yeah.
and this time it's like a little more on the balanced end. Like I get some interesting like ripe banana esters from it. Isoamyl acetate is a yeast derived flavor that causes. Yeah, right. Well, hey, you started it. I'm gonna finish it, bro.
That's true.
But I mean, like it's got a little bit of clove, a little bit of guaiacol.
Yeah.
Breaking them all out.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, you know, granted, I don't drink elevator wheat often. It was a style that definitely like got me into crafty beer, like Franziskaner.
Gateway beer.
Oh, definitely, for sure. It's like I like to think it's like a Mr. Rogers of beer. Like it's very approachable, it's very friendly, like it's not too much in any direction. And you know, for somebody that maybe just is new to craft beer and doesn't know what they like yet, it's something that's not so beery to be, you know, inapproachable. Like you start some off with stout or an IPA.
Right.
It's a lot of intense flavors in one direction or another, and this is just kind of like, it's a nice middle ground. And for me, it got me from like Keystone Light and Budweiser to Franziskaner Hefeweizen was the very first one, and I still think it's an awesome hef. But you know, it's just a style that I don't drink anymore now that I'm fully immersed and nerded out in the barrel-aged weird nonsense that I'm into.
Maybe you should have worn your blue cardigan today in honor of
I do have a blue cardigan, believe it or
Mr.
not.
Rogers of beer.
That's true. If only I had known there were going to be costume changes in between takes. Comms, man, comms.
Yeah, and I would agree, like the sales reps talk about Elevator being our most approachable beer at tastings. And, you know, some people still to this day is their take-home beer. You know, I see employees taking it home.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we use this line a lot, and I've probably said it before, but you may not like all the beers we make, but you should find one you love. And sort of this is one of those examples on both sides, I would say.
Definitely.
So, well, thanks for joining us today on Between Two Ferms. Until next time.
Cheers.